damn thanking God you didn't do nothing in the first place, huh? Do you know what it is? Then you can be black, huh? Then you black, huh? Then you black. Until then, huh? Until then.
Tell it, Gregory.
That's what this is about.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what this is about, huh? And then,
Gregory.
Coming up next on the 9th Annual State of the Black Union, where students and all kinds of folk from all across the country came to be with us yesterday. Please give all those persons a wonderful round of applause for all the work that you all did. I see you out here in this audience today. You were here working yesterday while we're talking today. We continue on the 9th Annual State of the Black Union. Let me return once again very quickly to yesterday so that you know what we were doing here in town yesterday. There were hundreds of folk who traveled from all across the country for a day of love and service yesterday. There were students and all kinds of folk from all across the country who came. There were projects all around this city to help rebuild the city, to help beautify the city. And I want to thank you for all that you did yesterday.
In August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina caused the most severe loss of life and property in New Orleans, Louisiana, which flooded as the levee system catastrophically failed. Years after promises and assurances from the federal government to rebuild, New Orleans remains a portrait of disenfranchisement at its worst. The devastation affected the homes and neighborhoods as well as parks and schools. Each new day brings hope of New Orleans returning to its original condition.
There's a huge amount of trees that came down in the path of Katrina. We received a grant from National Fish and Wildlife Foundation to recruit volunteers and organize them and bring them on public lands to address impacts from Katrina and Rita. And then you have volunteers like the wonderful ones we've gotten from State of the Black Union who've come into the city to help, and they've come in to plant trees to help these native trees reestablish themselves. They're doing important work today.
I got one good tree plan to get this shot right in there. There's no take twos on this.
Awesome.
Is that good?
Yeah, great.
Okay.
And then you're just gonna stick this in, make sure all the roots get covered.
We've had AmeriCorps helping us today. We've had volunteers from State of the Black Union today. We've had wonderful participation today.
Applause, please. You guys do this all the time.
We plant about 2,000 a day, mostly.
How many a day?
2,000.
2,000 trees a day?
Yeah. We do over a pound boil.
Gee, man.
AmeriCorps has a team of 9, so it's
Right.
not just 2 of us. So,
Right.
yeah.
5 days a week?
Yep. Well, sometimes 6. If it
Yeah.
comes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's good
Where
stuff.
are you from?
Sacramento. That's where AmeriCorps.
Doc, you missed this. These sisters work for AmeriCorps. Guess where they're based?
Sacramento.
Yeah.
That's where Dr. Wilson's from.
Sacramento sisters. That's where my mama is.
It's a huge recovery effort, and we're coming back, and this is just one of the things that people can do.
We're gonna go to all the other stops today and say hello to those persons as well. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And for the work, y'all, thank you.
Thanks for putting this together. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thanks for putting this together.
No, we're glad to be of service. Some small
I've enjoyed the radio show quite a bit.
Sacramento sisters. Here we go.
We have 9 modular buildings on campus, and our walls are white. And the work that you're going to do is going to add that needed color that we need so much, and our kids can enjoy a print-rich environment.
My name is Dee. I'm from New York City. After living through 9/11 and witnessing that firsthand, when Katrina came around, I really felt that I needed to do something. And one day somebody put a paintbrush in my hand to fix a mural, and then it took off. And I've been doing large-scale projects like this for a while now, and it's really fairly impressive. You will find on the other side where we're going to be working today, there'll be a paint distribution area. You'll have tables with paintings on them. You'll have paintings along the walls to choose from. And more or less going to let you choose what kind of inspires you, what you want to work on. You're going to kind of have to stick to what I did, though.
He's just wonderful. He does some muraling throughout the city, and so we're just lucky that he chose Fannie C. Williams to share some of his work with us.
We have a strong heritage of helping each other. And I believe in the condition New Orleans in, and in the condition many of our communities in America is in, it's going to take us to help us. And we can do it. A lot of the volunteers that are here today are people probably that have never painted a building before. But if you pick up a brush, you'll be surprised what you can do. There's so many neighborhoods, so many communities that would benefit by somebody going down, somebody who cares, somebody that comes and says, I just want to help. What can I do?
Hey, everybody! Hey! Thank y'all for doing it.
How you doing?
How's everybody doing?
Fine. You all right?
I didn't know you were up here. Thank you. Orleans is a metaphor for what happens in Black America and Brown America when there is no urban agenda to make things better. We wanted to come in for this conversation this weekend to put the eyes of the nation back on New Orleans and say to the candidates and to all of America in this campaign season, we have to have an urban agenda that can make America a nation that is as good as it's promised. But it made no sense to come to the Crescent City and not try to love and serve in the way that we can by helping to rebuild and re-beautify this city. So in this room, around me, and in spots all across the city, people are loving and serving. We're going to put our signature on something and try to do our part to beautify this beautiful school.
There's more to the story in New Orleans than the national media is portraying. There are people who are here working every day, who are not only working at their job, but who are working in their homes. And they're working, it's a rebuilding process, man. And we're all at different stages. We got people who are in trailers, people who are living in motels, hotels, people who are living, families have combined resources and are living together. Tavis Smiley group has been a wonderful group to work with. They made things happen that folks that were here before did not make happen.
Today we are so grateful and feel so blessed that we have so many volunteers that have come out to love us and bless us by helping us to build our neighborhood back. We don't know how to thank you other than to say thank you.
Coming up next on the 9th Annual State of the Black Union.
We need to make sure that our government doesn't just handpick other countries' governments and other countries' leaders, but that we really support true democracy.
We continue on the 9th Annual State of the Black Union. What do we do about the miseducation of our young people?
Right.
We're looking for a new story to tell them. We're trying to reclaim our democracy. We're trying to recast our future. And yet, in the midst of all of that, we still have to educate these babies.
Yeah.
What do we do then about the miseducation, ongoing still, no matter who gets elected? That ain't going to stop overnight. The miseducation of our people.
We have to be unrelenting in demanding that the democracy do what it says it ought to do. But simultaneously, we have to be unrelenting in recognizing that we have done the impossible. A part of the miseducation is the failure to recognize the strength of our resilience, the strength of our transcendence,
the power that we've had to operate in spite of all that America has done. We still too often feel that we must go to them to ask permission to be us. America wouldn't be what it is had we not taken the initiative and the prerogative to make it our way despite what they wanted us to do. Our greatest disempowerment has been the systematic effort to make us unconscious of our conscious power. That somehow we don't know our real power. We don't know who we are. I think that Carter G. Woodson raised that issue 70 years ago when he talked about the miseducation of the Negro, and he talked about the fact that there was a systematic omission and distortion of our absence in terms of world history. We cannot wait for people to somehow authorize us to celebrate who we are. We have to be proud to be who we are, be unapologetic about who we are, and to understand that America and the world will never be what it can be until we understand our own power within ourselves. So I've spent 30 years telling our psychological strength, because everything in psychology said we ain't worth a damn. It said we were psychologically incompetent, said we were paranoid schizophrenic, said we had ADHD, said we were intellectually incompetent, intellectually incapable, and we've been able to go in institutions where nobody mentioned anything about us, mastered everything in the institution, came back, critiqued it, deconstructed it, and rewrote our own story our way. And if that ain't genius, what the hell is genius? And until we understand that, we'll never get that. So let's sing our story and be happy about it.
Dr. Naeem Akbar. Our conversation on the 9th Annual State of the Black Union continues. Dick Gregory, you done gave us so much, but we want to hear from you one more again.
Well, let me just say this, brother. Your conscience determines your character. The Egyptians knew that when they invented the police. It wasn't called constable on patrol, it was called conscience on patrol. That's why they wear blue uniforms, because the color of your conscience is blue. So if you say vote, then I can tell a hoe to vote, but I can't tell her to vote her conscience because she have none. That's right. Was the richest, most powerful scientists, companies in the world. Nothing you can't make. There is one thing. If I cut my hand, you can't make a scab. You can make rockets, you can make bombs, but only God can make a scab. Huh? Understand that. Princeton can't make it, Morehouse can't make it, Harvard can't make it, and the Pentagon can't make it. Now let me tell you something about a scab. I don't care how light or white you are, if I cut you, the scab gonna be darker than you. Huh? And I don't care how black you are. I saw some Africans so black they purple. And when the scab come, it's blacker than them. Maybe that God is telling everybody, my healing come in darkness, and you was sent here to heal this planet. When you gonna get to work? That's what this is about.
Y'all better thank Dick Gregory for coming out today.
And I do believe that we are the conscience of this country, of this nation, and I believe that what has happened in New Orleans should remind us that our work is not done. What that means is we need to make sure that our economic policies are fair, not just for others, but for ourselves, to make sure our own black workers don't have their jobs taken away only to give substandard jobs to people abroad. We need to make sure that our government doesn't just handpick other countries' governments and other countries' leaders, but that we really support true democracy. When we do that, we will be whole. And because as we started, we are certainly bound to the destinies of not only what happens for folks in this country, but what happens to black folks around the world.
There are enough unregistered black and brown voters in this country to determine the outcome of the next presidential election. Registering them, getting them out, ought to be a moral crusade in our communities. This is the 40th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination, but it's the 60th anniversary of his graduation from Morehouse College. And what we do at Morehouse, the only place on the planet where you can find every year 500 black men graduating from college. And what we do